Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 196. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else the gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and all things firearms related. In this show, we will be discussing my review of the Boyds At-one stock and discussing the Glock Gen5s and the Gunwerks rangefinder. And tonight on the podcast, we have the infamous Ryan Cross. He came back to help us discuss this Glock. And then we also have Rob Zane and Tony.
So is he infamous or infamous?
So what did you guys do in guns?
Never mind. Okay, I'll start. Man, I spent almost the whole weekend at the range. Okay. I'm getting two of my guns sighted in for some hunting I'm going to be doing this upcoming weekend with my family. I took my AR-10 to the range that I had the manufacturer put a gas adjustment bezel on there, and got that tuned in with my scope and with the silencer, so I can do some hog hunting next weekend. And then took my SCAR to the range. And although I hadn't shot my SCAR in quite a while, I took it out, and at 25 yards, I did a 3-shot group, and they were touching each other, and I took it out to 100 yards. And then at the end of the day, I took both of them out to 200 yards because they had some steel targets. And at the end of a range session, it's always nice to ring steel at 200 yards. So that was absolutely a blast. And the cool thing was, a couple rows over, there was some guys shooting a 338 Lapua. They came over, saw the SCAR. Can we shoot the SCAR? Next thing you know, we're shooting everybody's swapping guns, and we're just having a good old range day with everybody that was out there. So, God, I love the firearms industry and the firearms community. It's so awesome.
Great. Okay, so who's next? Ryan.
What up?
No, wait a minute. This is since over last week or since the last time he was on the show, which was, about 6 months ago, right?
Yeah, we got a lot of ground cover if we're starting.
It doesn't matter.
All right, well, I don't know if the cat's out of the bag, but so I got a new job. I work at Grey Ghost Gear, Grey Ghost Precision, and Tactical Tailor. It's kind of all three companies. Actually, technically 4 if you include Grey Ghost Canada. So basically, I am the graphic designer, the marketing manager, the webmaster. I wear a lot of hats there. So they are pretty close to where I live, and I just noticed that they had a job posting back in end of April, May. So I started in May. So that's what I've been doing. Getting to go do some videography and some shoots. They flew me out to Utah, to Salt Lake City to film and photograph a pistol shoot with a bunch of Rangers and Marines. So basically, we've got these right now. We're really pushing these Glock slides at Grey Ghost Precision. So we got the V1 and V2 patterns. I've got the V1 right here. Let me get my lighting back up so you guys can see better. So basically, combining these with our match grade barrels gives you about 30% more accuracy. Now, I can say that because, I've shot quite a bit, and so I can say I'm not a terrible shot. Your results will vary, of course, if you're a crappy shot or you use crappy ammo, but the harmonics and everything are better. The lockup is tighter because we haven't just taken a blank slide and kind of, made it pretty on the outside like other companies do. We actually went to the company making the slides themselves and gave them new drawings and said, hey, we want these cut to these specifications, to these tolerances. So we tightened up all the tolerances, and the end result is just a much more accurate slide that you can swap out right now on your Gen 4, your Gen 3. And moving toward the future, new gens of Glocks will have support for those as well. So, no, Grey Ghost Precision is not sponsoring this podcast, but you did ask me what I was up to, and I let you know. So this is this is a Polymer 8019 that I built using one of Grey Ghost Precision's uppers with an Enforce APL-C on there. Really like it. Here's one of the Falcor magazine base plates that I got just the horse trading at TriggerCon that me and Chad went to. Really like these base pads. Other than that, I did just get a Glock 43, and well, okay, I took my wife shooting, and then once I tell you the story, then we can move on. I promise. This is what I did
Okay.
most recently in guns, so then we're done. I took her to a range because I wanted to see if she liked the Glock 43 versus her Glock 26 versus a Smith & Wesson Shield, and then she also wanted to shoot my SIG P938. So out of the 4 pistols, I let her shoot about 3 magazines each, and then we kind of talked about it a little bit more. I tried to teach her, but if you've ever tried to teach your wife how to shoot, you know exactly what that's like. It's like herding cats. You just can't do it. So she shot him a little bit more, and in the end, she felt like the SIG 938 was more comfortable and more accurate for her. The accuracy is kind of objective because I think she's more accurate with the 26. But she did, that was the first pistol she shot, so I think the fatigue started to set in. So on the way home, I said, oh yeah, so that 43, I told you I borrowed it from work, but actually it's mine. I bought it. So she's like, oh, well, I need to shoot it more to decide whether I want it or whether I let you have it. So that's what we just did. It was a really cool indoor range. I tried giving them a good plug last time before I abandoned the show. I mean, before I retired the show. And
abandoned.
Yeah, so it's the Welter's Gun Shop in Lakewood, right off of South Tacoma Way, and a really cool indoor range. They have the action target like touch screen where you can just push like 2-0 for 20 yards, hit go, and it'll send the target out. You hit home, it'll send it back. You've got full control over your LED lighting. All the targets have lighting on the track, so your target's illuminated. It's really cool. So yeah, that's what I did in guns lately.
Nice. Well, thanks for joining us tonight.
Well, all right, have a nice one. I'm gone.
Thanks.
Oh, you wanted me to talk about my expertise in the Gen5. That's right. That's why I'm here today.
Not yet, but yeah, sooner or later.
Okay.
I guess we're on to Zane or Tony.
I shot dot torture again, and I shot it with the 1911 to try to beat the old man, and I think I failed. I will say that once you have 10, 15,000 reps behind one trigger system and you go to a brand new system, you do things like drop around from that circle all the way down there.
See,
so yeah.
And the thing is without you explaining that, we didn't really know how far down you pulled that shot.
Right. Well, basically, I drew the gun, acquired the target, and I've been shooting a Glock for the last 15,000 rounds. As soon as I touched the trigger, I was not ready to fire at that particular one. But the rest of them were all bobbled safeties because I'm not used to safeties. But, it was interesting. It was fun. I didn't do too bad. And then probably more importantly than that, I finally took the plunge and got my lifetime membership to the NRA. So
so now you can vote for Adam Kraut, right?
Yes, I can. And I reached out to I actually reached out to Adam this week because I'm on the Easy Pay program, and you cannot vote until you pay it off. So I reached out to Adam. I was like, hey, can you get me a date of when I need to have it paid off by? And he contacted the NRA, and the date looks like it's going to be March 16th. So as long as I have it paid in full by then, I'll be able to cast my ballot. So anyone who is interested in that, they're offering like pretty good deals right now for life memberships.
Oh yeah.
So it's usually $1,500, I think, and I got mine for $600. So
that's about the standard price when they have their specials.
Yeah, they usually once a year run a special. I just kind of
wait about 6 months to a year, and they'll hit you up to upgrade to benefactor, then blah blah, then patron, then this, that, and the other. Give us another $300 or $400, and we'll give you an upgraded membership.
And I got my gripes with the NRA like everybody does, but it doesn't do any good to complain. What does good is to get new members on the board.
No, but I still like to complain anyways.
Oh, I mean, I'm going to continue to complain, but I figure might as well do the live thing. That way, I can try to get Adam, at least do my part to get Adam on the board, and maybe get
or whoever else you feel like
off the board, which I won't name specifically.
There you go.
Okay, so Tony,
he plays
I
guitar.
think you're up.
Smoke on the water. Yeah, so yeah, so here's the thing. Don't try to outshoot Chad with a 1911 because you know he babysat John Moses Browning back in the day. So that's out. Actually, I've been sick pretty much all week, so I never got a chance to go to the range. So that kind of sucks. So I absolutely did nothing all week.
Well, okay. I guess we're on to me. And as you can probably guess, I went to the range, shot a dot torture with my 1911 and 9mm. More so just to show Zane that you can do it without malfunctions. But I didn't video it, so you got to take my word for it. But it was interesting. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I also my SBR is now having problems. I need to work on it and take it out next week and see if it's an extractor problem or a gas problem. So I will probably do that and have a report on it, but yeah, it didn't like me. So I guess I'll have to fix it and see what's going on. A couple triggers out. They seem to be working good. They actually even worked with the 22 conversion kit. So that's a plus. And of course, Zane will probably say those things never work, but the one I have seems to work as long as you run certain types of ammo in it. So about all I did. So we will move on to the announcements. Our bandwidth sponsor, half of them is here today, is Patriot Patch Co. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Jake. There are new patches for pre-order. I think the only new patch is the AR-15 patch, unless Ryan has something he wants to tell us. We have our listener support program. You can go to the firearmsradio.tv/pledge gun gear review podcast if you want to pledge your support for us, or you can go to firearmsradio.tv/pledge if you want to pledge to the whole network or whoever else you want to pledge on the network. Be sure to use our affiliate link on Amazon and probably Brownells too. I'm assuming the Black Bag Resources Simon Says train for anything you buy gets given to Tony for the 2A4E diversity shoot is good. I think it's going to be good forever. So there's that. You can help Tony out with giving stuff away, or you could probably just go to his site and give him money if you want.
That'll work
or
too.
Ammo. He's always complaining about ammo, so give him ammo.
Oh yeah.
And tonight I have a review because I guess I'm special and got off my butt and actually wrote one. Tonight we are going to discuss the Boyds At-one stock. And if you haven't heard of Boyds, well, they make laminate stocks. Probably everybody who's listening to this has heard of them. This one, they call this color Blaze. It's basically orange and let's see, what color gray are we going to call it? Manatee. It's manatee gray today. And they sent me this for review. I put it on a Savage 93 and 17 HMR, which you see here. And they make this particular stock for tons of different rifles, not just bolt actions. They do make it for semi-autos also. The one thing I will mention is because mine was a synthetic stock, it did not come with the bottom metal here. So I had to purchase the bottom metal, which wasn't a big deal. I actually purchased the bottom metal from Boyd's themselves, as they actually were the cheapest place to find it. If you can see this, the At-one has some adjustments. It's got a comb adjustment up here, and it has and basically what you do is you push this button for the butt plate, and you can push it and slide it out, or push it and slide it in. And the same with the comb height. You can push it, slide it up, slide it in. And so that's kind of the big plus with this rifle. They made these particular buttons pretty hard to push. They said so they don't get pushed accidentally or misadjusted. This cheek riser is kind of rubber overmolded, not like as much as like some of the other stocks are, but it has a nice feel to it. It doesn't like chafe your cheek or anything when you're using it. So I like that. The butt pad is pretty soft. Nice. So it also has a changeable grip and a changeable forearm up here. They actually sent me both the target and it comes with the standard ones. Let me find my place here and find where I'm going. The way I liked it was I prefer the target one at the front, which is slightly wider. You can't really see it in the video. And I still have the target one on the stock for the pistol grip, and I did that because of something I'll tell you about later. It is a two-piece design, and basically, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this with my light. There's a seam somewhere right down here that kind of feels kind of weird on the target grip. With the standard grip, it's still a two-piece, but this part of the grip is just the wood underneath, so you don't notice the seam as much. The other, and they're real easy to change. There's an Allen screw here. You just take it out and they fall off. And the same up here. It's got two for the fore-end piece. The other nice thing about this is they included on each side a quick swivel disconnect hole, cup, or whatever you want to call it, so you can put a swivel in there. It does come with two sling studs at the front, so you can still have your sling here and mount a bipod like I did here. You can't really, it's kind of hard to see it, but it is there. This thing's getting heavy, so I'm going to set it down now. And since it is a hardwood laminate stock, it's very stable. It stiffened up this particular rifle quite a bit. It actually helped with accuracy on this one. Your findings may differ slightly. I did find better groups. This rifle consistently shoot under 1 MOA with just about any 17 HMR ammo now. And before, it was a little more fussy on which types of ammo it would use. Free floats the barrel if it wasn't free floated already. But on a downside, it does weigh more. I actually found the weight to be beneficial, as I liked it a lot more than the stock flimsy Savage sent with it. Actually, my daughter was shooting it offhand, so she's 14, so she's not like super muscular or anything. So if that tells you it's not super heavy, she can shoot it offhand. I found it for stock. It's kind of a chassis system, but not quite. Kind of not near as much price as a chassis system. It's price-wise, they are $189 in the standard configuration. I think the extra pistol grip and forearm, I think they're like $29.99 or something. So we'll get into the Firearms Insider 8 key points. Claim to fame. Well, that's adjustable laminate wood stock. The target market, somebody wanting a solid wood laminate adjustable stock. Features and benefits. Here we go. Enhanced accuracy. It is made of laminate. It has an adjustable butt pad, adjustable cheek rest. It has the quick attach sling points. It has an interchangeable grip, interchangeable forearms with 2 swivel studs. The adjustable length of pull is 12.5 to 14 inches. And the stock by itself weighs 3 pounds. there is something I'm going to mention that is in the review that I forgot. It also has a little piece back here at the rear that is also, but as of the writing, they don't have any options for back there. Figured that might be something. What other authentic options finishes? Well, you can get it in, I'm going to list off their colors, but they are laminate, so they're all multicolored. You can get it in Coyote, Applejack, Zombie Hunter, Sky, Pepper, Royal Jacaranda, Blackjack, Forest, and Nutmeg. And click on the review and if you want to go look at them. Things I actually could not find anything, not that we read them anymore. There is a link for the review on the price point. MSRP is $189. Here's where it got weird is retail price. I could find it for $219.99 at Optics Planet. I don't know why you would buy it anywhere else except Boyd's Gun Stocks when they're the cheapest place to buy it. So for our rating, the pros, the adjustable comb, the adjustable length pull, it is a good stable shooting platform. It does have 2 swivel studs, one for the bipod, the swivel sockets, the optional pistol grip and forearm, and it free floats the barrel. The cons, it may need bottom metal depending on what you're putting it on and what style stock it is. Didn't care for the target grip. It's a 2-piece design. I think it would be better if they made it a 1-piece design and so it kind of slid on and then bolted on. So for the score, I gave it an 8.5 of great. Any questions on this thing? I guess not.
Nope.
No, I actually heard of Boyds a long time ago, well, a while ago. And what was his name? Major Pandemic did a couple of Ruger 1022 bills using various Boyd stocks, and just the accuracy improvement or the accuracy from the guns that he built were just ridiculous. I mean, it was crazy, like sub-MOA groups with Ruger 1022s and the different ammos they use. It's pretty cool just to watch.
Yeah, if you're shooting an inch at a rimfire at 100 yards with a wide array of ammo, I mean, that's pretty good. I mean,
yeah, I kind of thought so too. And since I'd shot it enough before that some types of ammo I could get about an inch, just under with 5-shot groups. Then others would shoot like 1.5 inches. If I used the heavier stuff, it would almost go to like 2 inches. But once I put that stock on there, even the heavier stuff, it went down to like 1 inch. And I'm like, that's good for me. And really all I did was unbolt it, bolt the new one on, and shoot it. So I didn't clean it or anything. So that's saying quite a bit.
Was good.
I guess we will get into the product spotlight. And first up is the Glock Gen5s, because everybody else is talking about it, so we better talk about it also.
So we're going to follow suit just like everybody else.
That's right.
So this is the part where Zane and Ryan take over, right?
Oh, I wish. I'll try to do my...
I got to put my expert's hat on.
Okay. You put your expert hat on, and I'll go through some of this stuff. There's an article that I linked to in the show notes for Recoil Web because it seemed ones that I could find, and you go to the Glock website and they have nothing on there for it. So I just have a flared mag. Well, okay. They have a cutaway at the front to help rip a stubborn mag out, or if you get a double feed or something to that effect. They do not have finger grooves. Thank God they got rid of those. I'm going to miss a bunch of stuff, so all kinds of nasty notes or something. It comes with their standard sights. Have straps similar to the Gen 4, I'm guessing. The magazines are a little bit different. Why use a little different magazine? Let's see. They're still using different from the Gen 4 to Gen 5. So the Gen 5 has a new recoil system because it is slightly longer, and the slide lock lever has changed. It looks like the locking block's a little different. Oh, geez, what they changed the safety or striker safety. It's like elongated now with a flat instead of just a little button in the slide. Else they
so
changed
I've got some actual some visual examples for you
specs.
guys. Ready?
It's about time you did something for the show.
Yeah, shut up. All right. So you're all familiar with the Gen 3 and Gen 4 slides on the inside there. You see that the safety is kind of a rounder button.
Plunger.
So now, if you have a 43, you already have a sneak peek at what the Gen 5s are all about. You can see that it's squared off. It's got ramps on both sides, and it comes to just like a ledge. That's what the Gen 5 is all about. It's basically a full-size 43 now. So that also has to do with the trigger bar. The spring that usually connects the trigger bar is down on the Gen 3s is now gone, just like it is on the 43s. So basically, the things they changed on the 43, they brought over to the Gen 5 as far as the safety system and the trigger bar. So that affects the trigger pull actually quite noticeably for me, because I'm so used to Gen 3 shooting 26s and 19s and 17s that it definitely feels longer. It's smooth, but it's definitely a little bit longer. So you kind of get used to when that break is, and when you're shooting something that's just a little bit different, you're like, wait, something's wrong here. It's not wrong, it's just different. So you just have to get used to it. It's not bad by any means. Everyone's asking, is the trigger worse than it was before? No, the only difference really with Gen 5 is it's going to piss off the aftermarket people, because everything is different. Triggers are different. Trigger bars are different. So everyone can't just rest on their laurels, or we're going to have to come out with new parts to fit the new generation.
Yeah, I reached out to a trigger manufacturer of when there were going to be one available, and his response was soon.
If you have a good manufacturer relationship with Glock, they've probably already sent you the specs that you need to start making aftermarket parts. I'm just saying.
And I believe that's the case with this particular manufacturer. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And like it says in this article, it's actually easier to list what is compatible with the Gen 4 Glocks than what isn't. And all they have listed is the magazine release. The magazines still work. The recoil spring, only on the 19, not the 17. The striker spring and slider, and the spring cups. Everything else is different, basically.
Well, the sights, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same boring sights.
Yeah. Plastic sights.
Yeah, they're still including their dovetail protectors on there, which I don't have a problem with. A lot of people complain about the stock sights, but everybody I know puts their own sights on Glocks anyways, so they might as well save the money on the front end.
I still have my stock rear sight on my Glock Gen 2, Glock 19 Gen 2.
Why? You can shoot with them. Works. They just break off.
Haven't broken it off yet, and I've broken everything I've ever touched. So I'm just waiting. Everybody tells me to break off. Meanwhile, I'm cocking my, I'm racking a slide using my jeans and my belt. So again, haven't broken it off yet. But I'm not so tactical.
That means
slam my Glock into tables. What was that?
Next time you go to shoot it, it's going to break.
That's all right. I still got a front sight. And I got other guns. Don't care.
I think it's interesting that they included that cut in the front for ripping a stuck mag out. When I don't know if you're watching, I don't know how well you can see that, but there's a a hollow area in the back of Glocks that a lot of people love to put some stupid plug in. That is for that same purpose of ripping a stuck mag out. So they just moved it from the back to the front, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
It's probably
I
still
noticed that
back too. So
that's where I put my Reese's Pieces.
Exactly. People love just filling up the holes in the Glock with other stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I used the Dremel and created my own, so it'll be all right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing on that Recoil Web article. They've got a really good side-by-side comparison of Gen 4, Gen 5 pieces, parts, whatnot.
Yeah. The Firearm blog one also has technical data side by with the G19 and G17, which I guess we could go over, but that's kind of boring.
To be brutally honest, the reason Glock did this is to make all the Glock fans go out and buy a whole new series of guns.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the reasons. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Tony.
I was like, one of the reasons they did it was because they were kind of a little butthurt because they lost the Army contract to SIG. And then they find out that the SIG P320s, they go off when you drop them. And Glock was like, watch this. Hey, we got Glocks that work. And here you go, guys. And people are like, you know what? Yeah, I think I'll stick with Glock. I'm not getting the SIG P320.
Hey,
I know specifically 2 cops who carry 320s and have got Gen 5s on pre-order. So it worked.
I'm thinking it's marketing. They had to do something for that loss to the of the Army contract, and the civilian market is really where it is. I mean, Colt learned that years ago that you can't blow off the United States civilian market for military and police contracts because, the military buys a gun and then keeps it for 25 years. You have to do something in that interim, and it's selling to the civilian market. That makes sense.
Here's the same gun for more than 1 year.
You can
destroyed after about 6 months.
They have armors.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
They go through a lot of parts.
So here's my thoughts on it. Like, the Gen 5 is a better gun from the factory. So for someone who's going to buy a gun and run it the way it comes, it's a better gun. They took the finger grooves off. They have the I say that I haven't played with one yet. I'm going to get my hands on one tomorrow and put some rounds through it. So I'll let you know next week. But from the looks of things, it looks like a better gun. Now, if you're like most of us and you like to play with things and tinker with stuff, I don't really think it matters because I took the finger grooves off my Gen 4. I replaced the trigger in my Gen 4. Like, I do what I want. So,
Okay, Carl.
I'm not going to rush on by one of these. I've got a Gen 4, so what's the point of getting a Gen 5?
I have a license for that, see?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm with Zane now.
Listening, he just held up a piece of paper and said, I do what I want.
That's actually in front of my concealed weapons license. So, yeah.
I'm kind of with Zane as far as for a stock pistol. It's just slight improvements here and there. I mean, kind of all the companies should do that. I mean, even M&P came out with a 2.0. I mean, it's kind of the, everybody does it. Glock's just on Gen 5
now. We're
now.
on the 5.0 Glock.
Well, I really believe what you're saying is true. Glock does what Glock always does and makes incremental improvements. None of their generations are revolutionary. They're all evolutionary. Small steps. The thing is, if you already own a Glock and you want to own another Glock, go ahead and buy this one. But if you own a Glock and you do everything to it, you can't wait to get your Dremel on it, you can't wait to put aftermarket parts on it, then this is not the gun for you because there aren't any right now.
Yeah.
So you might as well go ahead. Yeah, you might as well go ahead and tinker with your gun. I don't buy into this whole it has a match grade barrel because really, what is a match grade barrel? Who's actually shooting so accurately with their Glock pistol that they need the match grade upgrade? But hey, I just look at it this way: Glock did what Glock does, but Ruger does it better. Ruger goes out and finds everything that's selling, and then they just blatantly copy it. Ask Tactical Solutions, ask Keltec, ask any of those companies, and Ruger just grabs it by the horn. And truthfully, I mean, if Glock wanted to make that move, they could have, and they could have made something worth really calling it Gen 5. They could have went ahead and added those, the cutouts underneath on the slide for an optic, and used the MOS slide on this also. They could have done front slide serrations on it.
Well, that's going to come out in about 8 months.
I would like to see front side serrations. I think the only thing with that is, I don't know.
I'm just saying it's not even necessary, but it is the new. I'm sorry, it's not even new at this point. Having optics cut out on the slide and having front slide serrations is not something new at this point on the Glock.
Here's the problem.
It's been done for years
with the slide serration thing, or not the slide serration, the optic cut thing. Optics are lasting longer when the slide is milled for them. The slides that come from the factory to accept a wide array of optics, it's killing the optics in half the time, just because of forces and stuff like that. So
half the time of what though?
I mean, I'm looking at a lot of dudes I know are getting around 10 to 15,000 rounds through their RMRs on the custom milled. They're getting around 7,000 rounds through the MOS system.
All right, let's be real honest. What are the percentage of firearms owners you think shoot 7,000 rounds through any firearm they have that's not rim fire?
The ones that are going to pay the money for an RMR on the top? Probably a good majority. Now, I see what you're saying. The guy who goes out and buys a gun, puts 50 rounds a year through it, and says, yep, I'm good till next year. Sure, it's going to last him forever. But I wouldn't want to see a cut, an optics cut incorporated across the board. It'd be just for that reason. If I was going to throw an optic on the top of my gun, I want it milled specifically for that optic.
Well, you know what's going to happen, Zane? Wait about 5 to 6 months, maybe 8 months. They'll have these Gen 5s with the RMRs cut out on them.
I'm sure they'll have an MOS system for it. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, again, MOS system is out there. I mean, it's being used now. Again, front slide serrations, I think it's just another firearms fad. C-clamp and various other crap that I've seen come and go in the last 30 years that I've been paying attention.
Front slide serrations, you can rack it just like Steven Seagal did in Under Siege.
Hey, listen, Steven Seagal was an innovator. Steven Seagal was an innovator, and y'all should quit hating. They could have undercut the trigger guard. They could have had that gas pedal or accelerated cut on the front. Threaded barrel. That could have been another option. And also metal sights. I mean, really.
The guy from Jersey wants a threaded barrel.
Do not get me started on Glocks and threaded barrels. Do not get me started on Glocks and threaded barrels.
What I'm saying is this, though. Everybody jumps on the band. When Ruger does it, they do whatever's popular. Whatever's really selling, they copy it and put it out and have been very successful. Glock still does this incremental thing. HK also really doesn't listen to his fan base and says they can do what they want. And people are just going to accept it. How long have they been waiting for, MP5s coming out of HK? So, yeah, I mean, those companies feel they can do what they want, and they're still going to have their fan base, and they're 100% right. Glock's a big ship at this point, and I guess doing anything radical is out. But I really don't think it's radical, some of these things, the undercuts and various stuff.
Well, not only that, you got to, I mean, I see what you're saying, but you also, the aftermarket support for Glocks is ridiculous. Everybody's doing undercuts. Everybody's cutting slides and cutting frames and making.
Oh yeah.
So it's almost.
You mean like everybody's? You mean like everybody's making parts for Ruger 1022s and everybody's making parts for Ruger Mark 3s and Mark 4s? Yeah.
But at the same, if they start, I mean, what are they going to have? 1,700 SKUs per Glock model? I don't know. I think.
Let me introduce you to a company called SIG.
Well,
you want 1,700 SKUs?
I don't know. I feel like all that's done because, like you say, the guy who's going to put 50 rounds through his gun a year and is good till next year, he's going to pull his gun in a box and he's going to be fine with it. The aftermarket support's there for the Gen 3s and the Gen 4s, and it's going to be there for the Gen 5s. So, and it's going to force them to innovate a little bit because one of the trigger pins is removed, and so they got to completely redo their whole lineup. But it's going to come. And I
who's going to innovate? You mean small manufacturers that do make parts?
Yeah.
Yeah, they always innovate. Glock is the one that doesn't innovate.
But I think because they don't have to. I mean,
yeah, I'm just saying though. People say, "Oh, other companies have to integrate." The last time Glock innovated was '82.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
that was the last time Glock innovated.
Are we going to just completely forget about 45 gap here?
Yes, we are.
I'm sorry. You know what? I do apologize.
How many 45 gap pistols do you have?
Exactly.
Well, you guys know
Innovation.
my thought on that.
Zane can't talk too much crap. He does have a 357 SIG.
I do have a 357 SIG.
That's right.
That's innovation right there for you, brother.
That's right.
That's right. In a Glock platform, you have a 357 SIG.
I do. It is converted to shoot 9 mil.
Platform.
That makes it.
Okay.
I do have one. Before we move on, I got one quick question to see if anybody knows. They changed the rifling from the polygonal rifling to a more standard rifling. Is that for use with lead bullets, maybe? Or
wait a minute, did that happen or did that not happen? Because I heard two different things.
Everything I've read shows it did.
I've read both.
I could tell you why they would. Not so you can use lead barrels, but because it costs less.
Lead barrels?
That makes more sense.
Or lead bullets.
He's old, leave him alone. Just let it slide.
Well, according to the Recoil Web, it says right here, the most obvious includes a non-polygonal rifle barrel, an updated grip. So
that was easy to say.
Recoil said it, so it must be true.
Rob did his Jake impersonation. Rob was doing his Jake impersonation. Say it again.
Ambidextrous.
Which honestly, all the aftermarket barrels use standard rifling anyway. So the aftermarket, like I just mentioned before, is already way ahead of them. But I found that kind of interesting. I mean, orange follower in the magazine. I mean, that's innovative. That's innovative. Right.
Yeah, because Magpul didn't do that already. Magpul didn't do all that already with their Glock mags. Also, CZ USA did it, and someone else has orange followers. I'm just saying, Glock stepped up. They made the changes they always do, and they went up Glock perfection yet again. And Glock fanboys will freaking flock to it. And again, if you're buying a Glock for the first time, this is a good pistol to pick up. But if you already have a Glock Gen 3, Gen 4, you can add almost anything that's on here.
Honestly,
yourself.
If I was looking to buy a Glock for the first time, I would probably wait about a month until people start picking these up and trading their Glock Gen 4s and Gen 3s and on a Gen 5 and pick up a Gen 4 for $200 off, $300 off.
Yeah, but you got to remember that we're talking about people like this is like their one handgun, maybe a second one.
Okay.
So
I've got several used Glocks and they're fine.
I know they just go to a gun store. They actually are at least somewhat informed and know that, hey, this is a good pistol for me. It'd be a good pistol. I mean, if somebody's buying one just for home defense, so to speak, keeping in a safe by their bed, and that, like Zane said, they're going to shoot, heck, even if they shoot a couple hundred rounds a year, they're going to, this Gen 5 is going to serve them great. Get one with the night sights. Hey, you're good.
Now, I reached out like I usually do. You guys know I blast the internet with my post. And I mean,
well, yeah, that's why we like you, Tony.
Yeah, that's why some people hate me. I've been kicked off of more pages. Anyway, the overwhelming thing from most people, and I'm talking about 70%, was yawn. Like they were not impressed. They were ho-hum about it. But the other 30% were like someone like I'd look into it or I'd get one. And maybe a very small percent of that 30% was excited about the Gen 5s. But for the most part, just nobody's like blown away by it. But I think that happens every generation of Glock.
Well, I think that's gun people too. That's gun people. Those people like you and I that if we don't want finger grooves, we're going to Dremel them off. If we want a left-handed mag catch, we're going to put it in.
And that's something else. Why don't they have ambidextrous mag release?
I know plenty of lefties. No, this one has an ambi slide release. Not the mag release. The mag release is still it's reversible, but it's not ambi.
That's what I'm saying.
Ambi slide release, which
is that much of a problem to have an ambi mag release also?
FN does it on their pistols.
I know. I know at least two lefties.
FN has that slide release.
Run the Glock. They don't even switch it. In fact, I know a lot of right-handed shooters who are swapping their mag release
because
around
you can use
it with the index finger instead of using the thumb. That's becoming quite popular. So
that's one of the reasons I like the Walther Model 1s and also the HKs. I like that trigger kind of mag release thing they have going.
Style.
I really do like that. Yeah, the new European style mag release, not the old school European Hero mag release.
Not this one down here. But yeah,
no.
You mean the mag release is on the bottom of the trigger guard, right?
Yes.
Right, the push down.
I mean, I've looked
always
at this,
like that.
What I'll probably do is wait about 6 to 8 months until I start hitting the blue label market, and I've got a few Glock pistol coupons. I just might use one of my coupons to buy this gun just for the heck of it, you know.
The blue label price. The blue label price on these is less than the Gen 4 blue label price right now, according to one of my buddies who just pre-ordered one.
I can believe that, so that Glock probably did that on purpose so they could get them out there and get people using them.
I was hoping it was going to drop the price of the Gen 4s because I want another Gen 4, and that's not what happened.
No. Silly Zane.
I'm putting the Glock to rest now. So now
Ryan
we're going.
Didn't chime in on this, did he?
Well, he did earlier.
I'm gonna have one. Yeah. I'm gonna have one in my hands, and I'm gonna have 1,000 rounds through it for next show. So we'll revisit it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm a horror, so I'm gonna wait till there's enough aftermarket support where I can do all this fancy garbage to it. So
exactly.
You're gonna pimp your gun.
Mm-hmm. That's why he used to be the host of this show, Gun and Gear. Yeah, because he's a gear whore. And up next we have the Gunwerks G7 BR 2500 ballistic rangefinder. And yes, the 2500 does mean 2,500 yards. You have a price on this. It's $1,599. When you think about
the yardage or the price,
that's the price. The yardage is 25. If you think what you're really getting for this, it's probably not a bad price, because it also has built-in ballistics calculator. So you enter your muzzle velocity, ballistic coefficient, etc., and it will give you the output for the range in either MOA, MRAD, or it can do a BDC to shoot for compensation. It says it's accurate to 0.1 MOA. And the rangefinder, the ballistics thing I see with it, will only work out to 1,400 yards. But if you've ever used a rangefinder before, it says it's 2,500 yards, but basically, in my opinion, you just cut it in half, and that's what you can get reliably.
That's 2,500 yards on a mirror with no clouds, no smoke, no rain.
And the target is the size of the Empire State Building.
Right.
Rangefinders and gun safes. There's just that one thing you got to take for the grain of salt. You can fit 25 guns in the safe. Yeah, BB guns with no scope, maybe. You can get
maybe
1,500 yards in this rangefinder. Yeah, sure.
So the features of this thing: it has a new tighter beam for more precise ranging. It's got a more powerful laser to extend the range. It still maintains the Class 1 eye safe designation. So if you shine it in your buddy's eye, it's not going to make him go blind. It has improved ranging and target algorithms. It's perfect for handheld use. Tuned for animals at long range rather than large reflective steel plates. It does have the onboard ballistic solver, compensation for wind, angle, temperature, and altitude. So I'm assuming that all that stuff is built in then. The drop solutions we already talked about. It has 5 custom programmable profiles unique to your cartridge and firearm. So you can have 5 different loads for 5 different rifles. It's in the field programmable, no app or anything else needed. It's all done in this unit itself. Of course, it is waterproof. Housing, Comes with a soft case, lanyard, owner's manual. It is made in the USA. The effective range is 2,500 plus or minus a yard. The ballistic calculation we went over. The tilt sensor range is plus or minus 90 degrees. 1 degree within the plus or minus 60 degrees. That's a little confusing, but sensor range is 0 to 122 Fahrenheit. The pressure sensor range is 4 to 36 inches of mercury. It is a 7-power optical monocular. The eye relief is 20 millimeters. It gives you 330-foot field of view at 1,000 yards. It actually only weighs 14.4 ounces, so just under a pound, which is pretty nice for the size of it. It's like basically 5 inches square by 2 inches wide. It does not use, it uses a CR123 battery, not my favorite, but I guess they needed a little more life. Continuous use is 8 hours of battery life. Blah, blah. The rest of it doesn't really matter. The ballistic solution time is greater than or equal to 4 seconds.
Yeah.
So,
hey,
if
Ryan,
I had $1,600, I'd buy one.
Hey, Ryan,
What up?
you're shooting something at 2,500 yards. What do you think your zoom is going to be? Your magnification is going to be on your
That's
scope?
what I was about to ask. What is a 7-power? Yep.
The answer is not enough.
That's why I said the size of the Empire State Building. Your target has to be. It has a 7-power zoom, but a range of 2,500 yards. Let's cut that in half and say what Ryan says is true. And it has range of half of that. Somebody please do the maths. I'm not a math scientist.
Even at 1,000 yards.
1,250.
No, I'm just laughing. Yeah, I know. It's not happening at 7.
Well, remember that,
dude,
way back when I was like, I don't know, probably 200 or something.
Buffalo hunting?
They
On
used
range?
to they used to use fixed 10-power scopes to shoot 1,000 yards. So,
well, I mean,
as long as you're not ranging something small, you could see a human with a 7-power at.
Oh, yeah. My
2,000
question
yards.
is, what is the target market for this? Because there are better systems available for the precision rifle shooter. There's cheaper systems available for hunters who aren't going to be shooting 2,500 yards. Maybe the PRS, the guys who have to, like, carry everything on them and move, like, you know, there's that competition. I think it's the PRS where they have to like move 12 miles with all their stuff on them.
Oh.
Okay, lightweight rangefinder, but that's a very small niche market. Like, who is this designed for?
I'm guessing them and, basically PRS shooters, long range hunters that actually want something that they know is going to be accurate and can.
I can get a rangefinder that's good to 1,200, according to the factory. So for $300, and who's taking shots past?
Thank you.
I mean, yeah, if you can shoot. I mean, guys can shoot long range. I got it. But you're hunting, deer hunting, or whatever hunting you're doing. Like, at what point is it unethical to take a shot where you might leave a wounded animal out there?
Well, it really depends. I mean, if you're that good, maybe you can get.
I know a lot of guys who way overestimate their ability with a rifle.
Well, yes, yeah.
My
ability with a rifle is like 250 yards.
Yeah, most guys overestimate what they do. Now let's go ahead and talk about the round they're using, what they're hunting. And again, when are you going to, depends on the territory you're in or the terrain you're in. Yeah, you might have a clear shot past 300, 400, 500 yards, but can your cartridge actually drop an animal at that range? Are you good enough to hit an animal in the kill zone at that range? And now, again, we're not even at a quarter of the distance this thing supposedly is able to reach out to. And again, you're not going to see an animal unless it's in the middle of a golf course wearing a blaze orange jacket. You're not going to see it at 2,500 yards.
He's got chem lights strapped to it.
Yeah. He's got chem lights in his horn. He's at a rave. He's at a rave.
Up.
If you look at Gunwerks' homepage, you can tell that they cater to the long range precision shooter. That's their customer. They've got long range diversity, air quotes.
But what is that system that all the long range guys are using? It's called like a Kestrel or something like that.
There's a wind gauge.
That's for measuring the wind.
Is that what?
No,
there's okay. So that's
like
not
wind
what I'm
weather
thinking of. There's something. There's a rangefinder that has a ballistic compensator and all that. That it seems to be the industry standard that they're using. That is.
If I remember, those things are like $2,500, and I can't remember who makes them.
Yeah,
I mean,
and again,
but if that's your game, that's what you're going to get.
Right.
You know, so
unless this works just as well for a grand less. I mean, it's possible.
It is. I haven't played with it. I shouldn't cast judgment.
Right.
Not that I can shoot anything at 2,500 yards. So.
Exactly.
Again, with a 7 power optic, you're not going to. With a 7 power optic, you're not going to see it.
I can shoot minute of pig out to about 200.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is,
where are we going to shoot 2,500 yards at?
Depends. There are places that you can reach out further at, but I don't know.
I understand that, but I'm not going to do that around where I'm at.
Well, that's a personal problem.
Well, you need to move.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a 3-hour drive, and I can shoot 2,500 yards.
Yeah.
It's only me, but there's space too.
I got a 1,300.
The round would go 2,500.
Yeah, I got
probably the same for Ryan.
Range pretty close by, like within 30 minutes.
Quit bragging.
2,500.
Rob's close to the water, man. You just need a boat and some buoys, and you can make it happen.
Yeah. See?
Yeah, international waters, man.
Yep.
Yeah, when you're shooting on a boat that's rocking and rolling with the wave, and your buoy's out there rocking and rolling with the wave. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm, yeah.
Didn't Silencer Co. do that a couple years ago?
Yeah,
yes, they did.
Ice event, yeah.
Yeah, I think Rob's just making up excuses because he can't shoot.
Okay. So I think for certain people, probably a good solution. For us, no, we can't shoot that far. So, oh well. I just thought it was pretty cool. I'd like to look through one. I don't know if maybe Ryan can go to Cabela's and look through one for us.
Oh man, my hookup is so much better than Cabela's now. You don't even know.
I'm on another level, son.
I'm on a whole other level.
Yeah.
And he gonna help us out. We're like tier 5, and he tier 1.
Well, he just wants to be tier 1, but he's still tier 4.5.
He's moving up.
Yep. We have no listener feedback because I guess nobody liked us. Maybe because our last podcast was on hold and finally got posted to iTunes, I think, today.
What happened?
Well, nobody informed me that our buddy Devin, who actually does that for us, was going on vacation, and our new president was supposed to do it, and he forgot.
Oh, Sean.
That's that Sean
I tried
guy.
To do it.
That Sean guy.
I tried to do it, and I was like, screw this. I'm just waiting for Devin to get back. So he sent me the link today, so it should be up tomorrow. And so actually we did good because we got Zane's review posted before the podcast came out.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was definitely late getting that in.
So Tony, it's all you with the second is for everyone.
Hey, second is for everyone. If you guys want to get those shirts, second is for everyone at diversityshoot.com. You have until August 31st, and then they're down. So if you want the second is for everyone set up, just like the original shirts that Sean came up with and that we're selling, you have until the 31st of August, and then they're no longer for sale.
As podcast posts, they won't be available.
Oh, well, you missed it. I've only been talking about it for 2 months. And I've told you from the beginning they're going to be gone at August 31st. The only time you're going to be able to pick one up is probably at the October 5th. The second is for everyone. Diversity shoot at Woodland Park Range, at Gun for Hire Range, in Woodland Park. And the reason being is because I have a few of them in various sizes, and I'll sell them at the event. Again, the event is set up for October 5th. We're going to have 200 rental guns out there. We're going to have food. We're going to have prizes. We're going to have cool hats. I'll have one of the car arms. Dang, what's the name of this knife company? They make the Delica 4, Spyderco. I'm going to have one of those car arms Spyderco limited edition knives. They're going to be raffled off. So we're going to have cool stuff. Hope to see you guys out there. If you want to donate to what we're doing, you can donate at diversityshoot.com. We have a donate button there. And we'll work on something new for the last quarter, a different shirt. And again, all of these are going to be probably put up for 3 months this time. That's it. And then you'll just have to get something new. I'm working on just making every shirt we sell special in a limited edition. So again, thanks as always to you guys for having me on. And let me talk about the Second is for Everyone. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, we like to listen to your rambles, so it's a good thing. Send questions or comments to gungearreview@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review, which we haven't had in a while. Other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews and industry coverage. Check us out on Facebook at Firearms Insider. And check us out on Instagram at Firearms Insider. And we are out.
Somebody needs to say bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
Jeez.
Man, you are.